Welcome to episode 5 of Hashbang TV. Safe to say, it's been a great success so far. 5 episodes in.
YouTube has crashed a number of times.
It certainly has. James's ego's got so big, we've had to enter a bigger room.
Yeah.
So,
new location, same venue, new location.
So yeah, episode 5, what we got in store?
Yeah, so we've got Oded Ran coming in from Touchnote. So we're yet again delivering on our promise to bring you the toppest of quality in terms of startups in the UK.
Yep, excited about that. And you've brought something in for show and tell. You want to show the kids something. What
That's right, yeah. So I've got my little kind of prop here. So what this is, I've got one. There's 2 of these guides actually. So there's the Mobile Developer's Guide to the Universe.
Yep.
Which kind of talks developers through all the different options they have for operating systems, billing, all the choices that you kind of need to make, kind of like a guide that explains that.
Yeah.
And then this is the latest publication. This is the Guide to the Parallel Universe.
Okay.
And this is all about marketing. Ooh. So how to build visibility for your startup, how to crack that kind of challenge of getting your product out there and driving usage, which we talk a lot about on the show.
Fantastic. So I've read the platform one, which is really, really useful. So that's
first edition. This has only been out a few weeks. Ooh. So we'll put the link up on the blog, so you can download a soft copy of this. But if you go to any of the WIP events or the events that we're involved in, you'll be able to pick up a hard copy as well.
How much do they cost?
They're free.
Wow.
Can't get better than that.
Can't get better than free information.
Yeah, so definitely recommend reading that. It's a great read, and it's kind of it's a community thing as well. So it's the content is contributed by everyone out there that's kind of living it day to day. So it's great stuff.
Nice one, and it's called the
Mobile Developer's Guide to the Parallel Universe.
The Parallel Marketing universe. Is the parallel universe. That's where you live.
I do. Yeah, that's why I'm kind of seen as a bit of an alien because I live in this kind of parallel universe. Yeah.
Excellent.
So we're really pleased to have Oded here from Touchnote. Thanks for coming in and seeing us.
Good morning. Thanks, guys.
So why don't we start with you just giving us a kind of flavour of what Touchnote's all about for people that haven't come across you.
Perfect. It's pretty easy to explain Touchnote. This is Touchnote. This is a picture I took with my wife when we were visiting friends in Canada. I took it on my phone. We sent it then. It took me a couple of minutes to put the address of our friends and a message. And Touchnote prints and sends any photo as a real postcard anywhere in the world. And currently we're the largest send a photo as a postcard on Android market. Yeah. Over 750,000 downloads. And
So tell us a little bit about where you're taking the company. You've kind of been there now, 9 months. You're kind of putting your mark on it. Where's the future lie for Touchnote, in terms of product development and all these kinds of things?
I think historically we've been a company that really makes it the easiest as possible to send a photo as a postcard. Mm-hmm. But I guess where we're going as a company is to think about the greater picture, which is why people use our product and where we want to go. And ultimately people use our products because either they want to become better friends, or they want to become better family members. Mm. Because even in a world where I can send anyone just like that, a Facebook message or a photo or email, there is something intrinsically valuable in getting something physical. But I still haven't answered your question, where we're going. So we are going towards the direction of becoming the platform that lets you send these physical, meaningful gifts for anyone you know and you care about. And if I pick, Jace, I'll pick up on you because I checked a bit before we met. So you have 267 Facebook friends. I'm guessing you have family members around, a couple of dozen you really care about and friends you really care about. You probably have over 500 LinkedIn friends, and I'm willing to bet that of these relationships, you have a group of, a couple of dozen people that you care about enough either to tell them happy birthday, congratulations on your promotion, how are you doing, happy anniversary, etc. Yeah. And we want to become the place that helps you do that in a very, very seamless way. Because we might know already it's your friend's birthday. We might know your friend got promoted. We might know something else.
Okay,
and we
can help
you do that.
Yeah. So I think that's a really good angle, actually, because we're all really busy people, right? So you'd like to be better friends or better colleagues, but you kind of always are head down 100 miles an hour. So if you can solve that problem by that little reminder, that little nudge to do something thoughtful, then I can see how that would really ramp up usage. So, being a physical product, even though it's an app, it's still delivering a physical end product rather than a digital product. So, do you have a slightly different demographic in terms of the people using the service versus a more kind of, leading edge, high tech kind of app? Is there? Can you talk about the kind of people that use the service?
Sure. And I guess the way we know about it is some from their Facebook TV or from analyzing the cards they sent.
Yeah.
And what we found out that was really remarkable is when we look at our super users or customers, the customers actually send not just one card a month, but much more than that.
Right.
We found out that there are much older than you'd expect for typical customers of mobile apps. So interestingly, and actually it makes lots of sense, the people who would value sending cards to someone and getting a postcard in the post. I mean, when was the last time any of us, before using Touchnote, have sent a postcard when you go traveling as a travel postcard or just as a thank you note? And these are people who did grow up on that, and now they use iPhone and Android or our website as tools to get it. So we do slant towards the slightly older. Our belief, and that's one of our core beliefs as a business in our DNA, is the value that people have or bestow on something physical, that is a universal truth that will not change. So even in a world 10 years from now, where people have everything is connected to the internet, etc., you would still much appreciate, and your wife or your husband still would much appreciate receiving a physical gift than a non-physical one.
Yeah.
And that's the market, that's the ambition that we have in that market in terms of enabling it for anyone to do it, to send it to anyone from everywhere.
Excellent. I've got one more product question. How does payments work? You're in an app environment, you're on certain platforms. How do I pay for either one postcard or a bundle of postcards and deliveries? How does that work?
So at Touchnote, we basically support the two main ways that people would pay. One is via PayPal.
Okay.
And the second one is via the credit card, debit card.
Okay.
Where you have to do it just once, and we remember your details. Now, payment is, we could speak for 6 hours on the issues of payment. It's specifically different for companies like Touchnote that sell physical goods.
Yes.
Because we sell physical goods, we cannot just simply use Apple iTunes systems for that,
right,
or Google Checkout, because their own terms and conditions do not allow for the sale of physical goods.
Understood.
So that was just picking up on what you said then, interestingly. So it sounds like you have one global build for the app rather than regional builds to take care of like regional billing differences and stuff like that.
That's right.
Okay.
So we handle everything in terms of, that's part of the transition we've done in the past 6 months. Our platform handles everything, and whether it is the iPhone app, the iPad app, any of our Android tablet or Android phone apps, or the website, they would all use it as a single billing. So that's actually really good. That's something people really like, because I can, at home, use my iPad, log into my Touchnote account, I can see all my addresses and all my friends in one place.
Yeah.
And then at home, if it's for Christmas, I probably would want to use my PC or my Mac to enter everything.
Yep.
It's still I don't need to re-enter any of my details. My billing details are there with my credit card details. My addresses are there. So it's quite cross-platform. And I can even access everything from my Android phone afterwards or my iPhone.
I think you've managed to kind of be successful in terms of getting a preload agreement with handset manufacturer. Can you kind of talk to us a little bit about how that deal came about and what difference it's made to you as a business? Because I'm assuming that's kind of like the nirvana, right? Shazam is a company that, was very successful by getting preloaded on handsets rather than, having to have that kind of hot luck of being discovered inside an app store. So can you kind of talk us through a little bit about that?
I think the first advice I would give is you have to think about your business if you are in the consumer-facing mobile apps area as first and foremost direct to consumer. And your value to anyone else will only be big if you have a product that people genuinely want to use. Now, this didn't used to be the case 5 years ago when I was doing other things. That didn't used to be the case in this triple O world of operators, OEMs or handset manufacturers, and operating systems. The power belonged at the time to the operators. It then migrated to the OEMs. Now I would say it's with the OSs, Google and Apple, and Windows Phone as a third player. that changed there. And in a sense, today the power, I would argue, is with consumers. So that's the first thing I think, for the majority of consumer-facing mobile apps I can think about. Planning a strategy that is purely based on distribution and landing deals with OEMs is just a hard strategy to follow. Having said that, now I can speak a bit about how it worked for us. And for us at Touchnote, actually made a lot of sense for OEMs like Sony Ericsson and for us to work jointly. Because ultimately, if you can speak until tomorrow about a 41 megapixel camera or an 8 megapixel camera, but there's nothing more valuable than giving people the ability to share it and show how the photo is printed and send it something that you can actually hold and give physical valuable to it. So there's a big value added there.
So the OEM sees it as a validation of their hardware. Right.
Exactly, which is one area. The second area is quite simply a monetization platform. Mm-hmm. People are willing to pay money to send a physical good because they understand that just the cost of a stamp of printing, we're talking about $1.50 in the US or £1.50 in the UK. Yeah. It doesn't cost you much cheaper to do it yourself, so actually the value is very high.
Yes.
And again, what we have there is the ability to do a revenue share or another monetization agreements with OEMs that make sense for both sides.
Yeah.
Having said that, I can say that of all our learning, and we had quite different models with different partners, I would still go to the first point. Your product and your distribution will only be as good as your product and the need you're solving. And Touchnote is pre-installed on a couple of millions handsets worldwide. We assume we do. I'm using here widely circulated industry figures. But I can say that by far most, let's say, loyal customers and most active customers are those who came to us either through the App Store or through the iPad activity or through Android Market in our work with Google to feature and promote Touchnote as an app.
So I think that's what you've just said there is really interesting, and I haven't heard it said like that before. And it reminds me of the mindset of startups when you're trying to raise startup capital. You want to focus on having the product first so that you're on the front foot, you've got some traction. And then when you go to a Samsung or a Sony Ericsson and say, what about distribution? They're already engaged. You're not saying, I'm reliant on you to distribute my product, which is what it was 5 years ago. You're saying, here's a product, it's already successful, but hey, we could do something together that will amplify. It's about amplifying what we've already got. So I wanted to ask you one question. So you worked at Microsoft for a long time, looking after mobile services, and then the consumer marketing for Windows Phone 7 in the UK, right?
That's right.
So where are we with it? What's the opportunity? If I'm a developer, I've got an application that's already running on Android, running on iPhone, what can we expect, and what should we be looking for opportunities?
Right, and again, I don't think anyone can give a single piece of advice to say, okay, you have to start with Android and iOS, because to be successful in any app market right now, including Windows Marketplace, is all extremely competitive. You can put something out there, but even with the best search engine optimization in the world, it still doesn't mean you're going to get many more than 5 to 50 downloads a day. It might be that actually, if you can get proper marketing guarantees or other things through a player such as Windows Phone or through the OEMs themselves, it would be hugely valuable.
Yeah.
And that is something that you need to consider. I don't think that in that case you can just say, okay, for everyone it would be right to do this, to do that.
Yeah.
And again, bear in mind, my feedback is for people who look at this as a bit more than a mom and pop, company.
Yeah.
If all you're interested in doing is build a business that will generate a few tens of thousands of dollars or pounds a year and work from home, it's a quite different story to a business that tries to actually build a business and employ 15 employees.
Sure. Absolutely.
Fantastic. Excellent. So another amazing episode in the can, in our nice new big room. Oded was really good, I thought.
Fantastic.
Lots of great information there. And like previous episodes, if you want to hear more from Oded, then check out the podcast.
Yeah.
Because obviously the video edit is going to be a lot shorter.
Yep.
So make sure you do that.
Thanks for all your feedback about that, by the way. It's been really useful.
I think we finally cracked it.
Yeah.
We have finally cracked it.
Yeah, keep the video short. All the information's in the podcast. Dead simple.
Perfect.